I'd like to welcome back into the studio Brushville, who was here last year at WLCN Radio. I'm Jeff Led. Good to have you guys back.
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, and of course, the tradition will continue. We'll have a audio unplugged set from you guys afterwards. So
Gonna be fun.
yeah, can't wait for that. I want to go around and introduce everyone. We've got Kirk here, who plays guitar and fiddle, and then our Mark from England on the bass, and the percussionist Darren is here, and Brett, of course, the lead vocalist, who also plays guitar and keyboards, and last but certainly not least, Dustin, who pulls a lot of duties too in terms of vocals, guitars, mandolin, and things. And you know, one of the things I think that is a great appeal of you guys is you all throw in vocals into the mix, which is very unusual.
Sound guys hate us. We
got
5 vocal mics up there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Particularly for drummers, I mean that's a rarity. But the harmony is wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and so definitely worth seeing in concert. And I want to talk about some upcoming performances right away. Of course, right on the heels of our interview today is the Logan County Fair.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there August 2nd, opening for Thomas Rhett. Last year, you guys were there, opened for Craig Morgan. I was at the show. I know I made eye contact with several of you during the performance. And I gotta say, you blew the headliners off the face of the earth.
Oh, come on. No, we didn't.
I guess I'm biased a little bit. But the energy that you guys produce is amazing. And I'd like for you to kind of talk about that. And I think a lot of that energy comes from the rock and roll infusion into what would normally be a quote-quote traditional country band. So, Brett, give us some feedback on how that energy kind of metastasizes on the stage.
That's just kind of what we feel we owe the fans to come out to see our show. You know, they're paying money to see us. We want to give them everything we absolutely have. Like, completely, we talk about it all the time, emptying the tank on stage. So a lot of that is, you know, getting lost in the moment too. So you're not, you know, there's no barriers. And that really helps the audience to let go too. And then they're part of the show. And that's what we want. We want that, you know, circle of energy going back and forth between us, you know, on stage and the crowd and the audience. So,
and I agree. And Kirk, our fellow Lincolnite here, can talk to this too. When I see you guys perform, especially in front of a crowd, it's kind of like a Zen thing. You get kind of lost in
I always see him do it in the last solo, the Freebird solo. We usually close with the Freebird solo, and he's always up there just...
Yeah, speak to that, because your guitar roots are very much rock and roll.
Yeah, it goes back to rock for me, and a lot of the new country we play has that feel. And then when we play, we do some of that, and but then we do a lot of rock too, or we might just do segments of rock. But yeah, I love getting out there, ripping out those old riffs. And
he's usually pretty animated on stage too.
Yeah.
He is. And you had mentioned before we came on the air that you guys actually opened up for some metal bands recently. How did that go?
It went great. You know, at the end of the day, music is music, and music lovers love music. So we actually got involved with that. It was up in Kewanee. It was called Kewanee Stock. We helped out with the tornado relief. I don't know if you remember the tornadoes that went through last year.
Yes.
We did an event at the Peoria Civic Center for that. And they loved us there, and they're like, wow, you guys play country, but you guys rock. So
that's right.
They're like, we want to work with you guys again. So they set up the event, and, you know, it went from there. And we had a great time, played during the day, like 2 to 4, and, you know, which is the hot time of the day because we're sitting on stage just sweating like crazy.
Yeah, and that event, the tornado relief event, there was, I mean, a bunch of Illinois well-known bands at that, right?
We did 2 events. Well, we might have done 3 for the tornado relief, but we did 2 big ones. We did one at the Civic Center in Peoria, and we did one at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum in Bloomington, and that was with REO Speedwagon, Styx, Ted Nugent, Richard Marx, Larry the Cable Guy was the MC.
Yeah,
Survivor, Ed East.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
That was definitely a milestone, getting to open up for those kind of legendary rock bands.
That was a great event.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a good cause.
Yeah,
so.
and we got to help out, so like it didn't get any better than that.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
pictures that day.
Well, one of the things that's happened since you were here the last time is you have released a new CD, and what really fascinated me about it was you went through Kickstarter.com and crowdfunded it, and I just thought that was amazingly cool, and it shows how much your fans appreciate what you do. Jump in and tell us how that crowdfunding went for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that we had in the back of our minds for a long time to do that. Just because we know how great the fans are and how much they really support us and stuff. So as soon as that was always kind of the idea that Kickstarter would just be a great way of doing that. And we offered lots of different things, depending on how much you wanted to pledge or could pledge towards it. We offered various different things from merchandise packages all the way up to we've got one coming up where we're going to go to someone's house and cook them a dinner for about 10 people. We offered people to get on our bus and play Mario Kart against us, things like that. So it was a lot of fun coming up with rewards for people and things like that, and it got a great response, and we were able to raise the money, and it was amazing.
Mark's a fantastic cook. They're going to like their meal.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and as I recall, I think wasn't the goal was 20,000?
25.
25,000. Yeah.
So, I mean, no easy task.
Oh, no.
It definitely wasn't.
Yeah, and if you don't make the goal on Kickstarter,
you
don't get a dime. So, yeah, that's very impressive. And continuing on the CD release, when you were here last time, the intention was to work with Randy Travis's people on the production of this. Were you able to pull that off, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, we were. I don't know if Darren wants to speak to this. He actually is the one that got the hookup with Kyle Lenning is the guy's name. He's got multiple Grammys. He's Album of the Year, Song of the Year. He's produced everybody in Nashville. Like, we actually got held up on this record because he's producing a Randy Travis record and a Kenny Rogers record. That's why it kind of took us longer than expected.
From that TV show
to get it out. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Throw the mic Darren's way here, and how'd you hook up with Travis's folks then?
Kyle and I both went to Millikan University in Decatur.
Okay.
And we were both music majors. Our tenure at Millikan was split by about 25-30 years, but we connected while I was there. He came back and did master classes, and I stayed connected with him for about 10 years, just kind of through emails and when this band got together and we were ready to make a move on recording a record, I reached out to him and said, hey, I think I have a project that you might be interested in. And he wanted to meet, and the rest is history. So
it's just truly amazing. And to have that influx of talent on the production end of this thing is going to be a huge boon for you guys.
He's a great guy. Everybody loves him in Nashville, and everybody thinks he's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
And that's impressive.
I think he is.
Yeah, everybody down in Nashville.
Yeah, after he cut our record.
Yeah, after he cut our record.
Well, there you go. Now, since the record's come out, I mean, you've been making some moves on the charts and stuff.
We've been making some waves. We got up to number 22 on the iTunes Country Albums chart. We also got to number 1 on the Billboard Heatseeker chart, and that chart is only it's reserved for new artists and bands that have never been on Billboard before. So we're not competing with Luke Bryan and Brad Paisley, people like that. But we did get to see our name in Billboard magazine, page 85, July 5th edition.
Wow.
Not that I haven't looked at it 100 times.
Well, I mean, it's extremely
I'm
impressive.
framing it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, no doubt.
That's a dream come true.
Now, before you guys came in, our Jeff number 2 was giving you guys a little bit of a hard time because inevitably, you've now got some groupies. And he specifically mentioned that there's some of them that are really interested in you guys beyond the music scene. But how's it like dealing with groupies? And I guess the big question that everyone wants to know, Brett, is, are you single?
Well, our fans are just amazing, you know, like we always want to be able to hang out with them, and like they're more friends than fans. I mean, we have a lot of people that come to our shows, they get there, 2-3 hours before the show starts, just, come hang out, and we try to go to the merch booth after to make sure we're available to talk to everybody. Like, we don't just want to run back to the bus and hide. So
you get people bringing us gifts and things like that, which is
it's really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's humbling.
And people are driving 2-3 hours for a show, like and like 2 or 3 days in a row. Like it's awesome.
It's incredible.
It's almost like you're a Fish or a Grateful Dead fan.
Yeah.
Hey, I take it they're successful.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely important. Let's talk about where you're going after the Logan County Fair. Are you going to be at the Illinois State Fair again this year?
We'll be at the Illinois State Fair
3 dates,
3 times at the Miller tent.
Yeah, opening date, closing date,
Sundays.
and then the
Thursday
Florida
between.
Georgia line pre-party.
That's the closing date.
Excellent. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And
if we got that wrong, our full list of our shows is on our website. It's brushville.com.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's the opening Sunday and the opening Thursday and the 2 Sundays.
Okay. And if they purchase your CD, it comes autographed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or they can have us come autograph it if
we'll
it's
just
not.
autograph it if it isn't.
Yeah.
So you're available for private parties then, right?
We do a lot of private parties, private events.
Well, and the other thing I wanted to mention is a little bit later this year, one of our great friends, Joe at Snappers in Clinton, is going to be having you guys come over. So,
Yeah. What's
That's
the date on that?
I think it's September 27th.
September
Saturday.
27th,
It's
yeah.
The weekend of the Pork and Apple Fest. It's going to be right on the square in front of his bar, I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So
Apple and Pork Festival.
Right. So we'll be looking for you guys there as well. That should be a really good show. So you've just on the heels of this CD, are you already thinking about your next recording opportunity?
Oh yeah, we've already been in talks with Kyle to he's on board for producing the next one, and we're writing songs, and we'll see what happens, but we're definitely we got to promote this one though first.
Yeah,
we got to have some
absolutely.
success with that before we move on,
Well, and we're happy
because
to
we
help
love all the
with that.
songs on it, and it's really fun at our shows now. People start singing along. There was this little girl at our show at the Mackinac Winery, Kendall, and she knew every word to every song. And because I looked down one time and she's singing along, I'm like, is she just kind of like mouthing the words? But she knew them, every single one.
Wow.
She was reminding Brett of the words. He kept forgetting them, and he was looking at her. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's what it is."
She kissed me on my head while I was during the show. Leaned down and she gave me a big old.
How sweet is that? I think that might be the best place to end this great interview today, and it's been always an honor having you guys out here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We want to make this an annual thing. I'm sure you'll be back for the fair, and you'll be cranking out albums, and we're right down the road from you in Normal, and of course Kirk here from Lincoln, so we'd love to have you back. I think we heard from everyone except for Dustin.
That's right, the guy in the corner over here.
who he didn't talk that much the last time. So, Dustin, at least tell us about, because I know it's a hard instrument to play. Your mandolin playing. What's up with that, and how often do you get a chance to do that?
Well, the mandolin really hasn't been out with us for quite a while, probably about a year, just for the fact that we've got that rock edge, and with me playing rhythm guitar, I'm backing Kirk on his big, rock solo, so he can go crazy, and the mandolin just doesn't quite cut that edge. So But we have brought the Mando back out in the studio. We got the bass player Mark over there rocking out on it. So.
Yeah. So he picked up your mandolin.
Things have changed
today.
a little bit as far as the live show. We're always trying to change everything to keep it new and fresh for the fans, and keep our sound and keep the high energy. And so
this is a rare acoustic performance that we're going to get out of you. That used to be more of a part of your live show, and not so much anymore. Then. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great.
Well, we used to have a ton of different instruments on stage. We used to have keyboard. We even had a saxophone player at one point.
We started out with 2 drummers.
And you were playing keyboard.
I was playing keyboard, yeah. I stopped bringing it out because it was too heavy to carry.
So you kind of pared it down a little bit in terms of the instruments and everything.
Sometimes getting on and off stages, like if we're opening for people, there's certain a time frame that you have to fit within, and it's tough if you're bringing 10 instruments up there.
Yeah. Now, what I want to see is the appropriate flip here, where there's people opening for you guys.
Yes, it's happening. Actually, James Otto is coming up to open up for us, and at the Ottawa River Fest.
Well, good.
That's this Friday too.
Yeah, a lot of the shows we headline, we have openers.
Good. Yeah. So, let's get some national headlining opportunities out there, and WLCN will be happy to help with that.
We actually have Jacked Up and the Empty Bottles opening up for New Year's Eve at the Doubletree in Bloomington. It's not too early to start thinking about New Year's Eve.
I was a big party last year. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played in Logan County before, too. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think over in Emden, as I recall, at the bar there. So
yeah, it was great. Dustin doesn't really remember it, but it was I keep telling him it was a great show last time at New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve.
I thought he was talking about Emden. I'm like, no, I don't remember a show.
No, I meant Jacked Up over there. So
yeah, they've done 3 or 4 openings.
Yeah,
so far
they come out a lot.
And then
they're
really more of a rock and roll band.
Yeah. I think
classic rock, and
2 of them are from Lincoln, Joe Boberly and Mike Klug.
Yeah, that sounds.
Well, that's why we can fit kind of in any genre. Country rock. We can have people open for us. We're versatile that way.
Well, there you go.
But we're definitely going for the country charts with the album. So.
Well, maybe one of these days, even my punk rock band could open up for you.
Come on out, man.
There you go. So, well, hey, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks so much, you guys. August 2nd, this weekend at the Logan County Fair. Mm-hmm. We're counting on you rocking out a good show. Thanks so much for coming out to WLCN today. It's been great having you. And this is Jeff Ladd for WLCN Radio. We'll see you next time.